And I know that I have done really bad things. I don't think I'm horrible. Sociopaths, psychopaths, mirror neurons broken down, things like that.
The branding. Did you come up with that?
No, I took credit for it.
I'm Scott Rouse. I'm a body language expert and analyst, and I train law enforcement and the military in interrogation and body language. Today, we're going to talk about Allison Mack. She was involved with this thing called the NXIVM cult. And what they would do is they would get women involved with the cult. They would control them. They would traffic them. And they would do some really horrible stuff to and with them. And they would also brand them. Now, this woman, Allison Mack, got in trouble for that, and she went to prison for 3 years, right? But this guy, Keith Raniere, the guy who ran it, he went to prison for 120 years, still in there. So she's out now, and she's doing this interview with a guy named Michael Rosenbaum. If you haven't seen Michael Rosenbaum's channel, it's called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Go check it out, and go check out this interview. Because
Do you remember where it started changing for you, or were you unaware? Were you think you were a little...
I mean, my God, it went on I was involved for 12 years.
12 years.
You know, and stuff didn't start to get...
She knows 12 years is a long time. We see it on her face because she knows that's a bad thing going on, the NXIVM cult, and she was in it for 12 years. That's why we see that disgust expression on her face.
I mean, my God, it went on I was involved for 12 years.
12 years.
You know?
Now, notice Michael Rosenbaum. All he does is say 12 years.
For 12 years.
12 years.
You know?
That's key because it just keeps her going. But she feels like he's asking her a question or being part of the questioning process. He is, but this is one of those things you do to make that person bond with you. So it's called matching. When you start doing what that person does, it's called mirroring. You know, you've heard of mirroring and matching and mirroring. Well, when you mirror somebody, you do the same thing they do with their body language. They may be doing this, and you just start doing that. They may do this, and you start doing that. You've got to do it slowly. You can't just start doing it all of a sudden. You have to ease yourself into it. But that's what he's doing when he's talking to her like this. He's repeating the last 2, 3, 4, 5 words she says. It's a brilliant move on his part.
Really dysfunctional and illegal until like the 8th or 9th year that I was involved.
When it comes to eye movement, I'm not one of those people that like lays heavily on that because I'm not sure what's going on with it. You hear a lot of people talk about it and they'll say, when you look up in the left, it means this. When you look down to the right, it means that, and all those things. I'm not part of that because I haven't seen any studies that show that's true. It may be true. I don't know. I hear people talk about it from their experience. And when they say from my experience, I see this when somebody looks over here. When they look over here, it looks to me like this happens until there are definite studies that come out. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you look this way and it means this, or looks that way and it means that. However, in this situation, from my perspective, when she's looking up, she's recalling the information she wants to talk about. She's thinking about what she wants to say. And so she's looking up there to get the information. Whether that's the where she looks to access that part of her brain or not, I don't know how that works yet because there are no studies on it. And I'm not going to give you any information that there aren't any studies about.
So it was like a very stereotypical, now that I look back on it, grooming process that happened over a period of time.
She's trying to show she understands what happened because she starts doing this. It's a very stereotypical, and she talks about how long it takes to groom someone and do all that and how long it took. Well, that makes sense because she's showing that time is passing when she's doing that. The thing that bothers me about this is how small she got and how her illustrators got really close to her body. Now, illustrators, as you know, are the way our brain emphasizes specific words and phrases, like I did just then, specific words and phrases. Now, hers, as she started illustrating, got smaller and smaller, and she got down to here doing that, right? So that makes me wonder, is she trying not to let out all the information? Is she trying to watch what she says, make sure she doesn't give it out too much?
Do you think you were brainwashed?
100%.
100%.
100%.
This part I believe. I really believe she believes she was brainwashed. Because look how quickly that answer comes out. It's not that odd thing where you ask someone a question and it jumps out really fast. It came out like, yeah, man, I'm telling you. She's reassuring him that's what happened. But notice what he does. Like I was telling you about earlier. He just says 100%. She says 100%.
Do you think you were brainwashed?
100%.
100%.
100%.
So he's doing this really well. I really like him as an interviewer.
What red flags, if you look back now, that you might not have noticed because you were in the thick of things, would you make people be aware of, not to make sure this and this, if it's a self-help, is there anything you can do?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, the mental landscape is so nuanced and delicate, and we're so flippant with it because we can't touch it and see it.
She understands how to do that. You know how we know? Because it takes her so long to get that answer out. And if it's not like she's sitting there thinking about it, like Elon Musk does when he's on Joe Rogan's show or something. This is one of those things where she laughs and she looks around, she's thinking. This is all thinking time for her. She's got to be careful how she answers this so she doesn't look like she's a bad person because she goes right to it. Here's how you do it. So I don't know, this woman, she's probably fine, but I'm getting a little bit suspicious.
But people should not be messing in your brain unless they have 7 years at least of an education behind them, teaching them how to be careful, how to be respectful, how to allow you your autonomy. Like, there are so many self-help things out there now, which I think, some of them are really good and are really helpful. But if somebody is insisting on getting really deep into your psyche, they should be licensed.
She's talking slow. She's trying to explain what she's talking about. However, this still looks suspicious because we can tell she's thinking about that answer, making sure everything is correct so she doesn't make herself sound bad. Her blink rate goes up. Her breathing rate goes up. There's a lot happening here that shows stress.
There's too much sensitivity to our psychology that we don't take care of in the way that we should. So I think that's one big thing is like
knowing who you're getting involved with.
Yeah. Just because someone is good with a knife in the kitchen doesn't mean they should be a surgeon.
Just because they're a good talker.
Just because someone is good at listening or good at talking doesn't mean that they should be a therapist. So just be wary of self-help gurus and the power that they say they have that's unregulated.
Basically, she's distancing herself from this guy, Keith Raniere, and what he did. Now, it's not up front. She's not saying Keith was bad because he did this. She's just saying people shouldn't be doing this, right? Obvious. We all know that. But this way, she's sort of separating herself almost as a third person from that situation.
There's too much sensitivity to our psychology that we don't take care of in the way that we should.
Now, that's really interesting. That whole thing with all that rapid blink rate and that head going back and forth really quickly. She's trying to watch what she says, but at the same time, she feels like she's said too much so far. And we know this because she starts to shut down even more. So listen to how her voice goes from one volume, it gets quieter and quieter, it gets down to another volume level. This is really important. Hey, everybody, just a quick intro. I want you to meet Jessica, our sponsorship specialist. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, thanks for letting me do this because I want to use it as an example. So check this out. I just Googled your full name. Now, your address is in Los Angeles, correct?
Yes, that's creepy.
And your phone number is 214 or 8.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's the creepy part. Your personal address, phone number, and email are all out there for anybody to find. All I did was just Google and search you. It's not a hack. It's data brokers, companies that collect and sell your information to marketers, scammers, and even identity thieves. And it's totally legal and completely creepy. They're supposed to remove your information if you ask them to, then they bury it in all that legalese and red tape, so you'll just give up. But you can do what we do. You can use Aura, today's sponsor. Aura scans the web for data brokers that are sharing your information and automatically sends opt-out requests on your behalf. But Aura doesn't stop there. It monitors the dark web 24/7 and it alerts you fast if any of your information shows up. Now, it'll warn you if somebody tries to open a bank account or credit line in your name. And if something goes wrong, you're covered with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. And a US-based fraud team is ready to step in. Plus, Aura includes a world-class VPN so you can browse and shop safely from anywhere. It's privacy protection and peace of mind all in one. So go to aura.com/Scott Rouse and get 14 days for free. And that's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your information from the internet. All right, thanks, Jessica.
Thank you, Scott.
Important.
Look, this is a tough question. You can answer it or you cannot. But like, when I think about hear about the branding and things like that and all that stuff. I mean, is that something that you thought, oh, this is the club. This is part of it. This is initiation. This is... it's hard to wrap my head around. Did you come up with that?
No, I took credit for it.
The branding part's a really big deal, what he's talking about, because what they would do is they would brand these women with a brand. I mean, a hot thing. And they had this whole thing. They would, the logo for their NXIVM cult, and they would brand these women with it. And it was her idea. That's what she said in an interview. So now she's saying it wasn't her idea, but she took the credit for it. You don't laugh when something like that comes up. It's not funny when something like that comes up and you've been accused of it, even though you did say it, but now you're saying you didn't. You don't laugh about it. It's not funny.
Did you come up with that?
No, I took credit for it
But here's where it gets interesting.
in the New York Times article. And that actually, interestingly enough, is a part of the podcast because the woman who interviewed me for the New York Times article is a part of the podcast that I did as well. And so she has actual tape of me talking about it.
Right.
No, it was not my idea. No, it is not my initials. I will take credit for the things that I actually did do, and I did not do those things.
There, she's admitting to it. She's saying that she did say that, but she's trying to distance herself from it to make herself a victim.
And so she has actual tape of me talking about it.
Right.
No, it was not my idea. No, it is not my initials. I will take credit for the things that I actually did do, and I did not do those things.
That is classic fading facts. And what are fading facts? When you're lying to somebody and you start telling the lie, your brain goes, man, we shouldn't be doing this. So subconsciously, you try to get quieter, and your voice gets quieter as you go along. Notice how quiet she gets as she gets to the end of that answer. She starts up here and starts saying, here's what happened, and gets quieter.
No, it was not my idea. No, it is not my initials. I will take credit for the things that I actually did do, and I did not do those things.
That's one of those things I talk about all the time when someone's not being honest, when they're being deceitful. When you hear somebody doing that, make sure you pay attention to what they're saying and what you just asked them, and ask them the same question again. Then after you ask that same question again, pause, wait and see what they say. After they talk, after they give you their answer, wait, don't say anything, just keep looking at them. Then see what they say. See if they add any qualifiers to that to make that answer sound more believable. In my opinion, that question, she's not being honest with that answer.
Has Keith Raniere ever reached out to you since then? He's not allowed to, but did he ever write you a letter? Did he ever reach out?
He wrote a letter to all of us that were on trial.
That answer should be a yes or no answer. Then you add the other stuff to it, right? She should have said yes, and he also sent it to these other people too. But she doesn't say that. She doesn't say, yeah, he sent me a letter, or I've talked to him. Nope, she goes right to, he sent everyone this thing. So again, this makes me wonder what's really going on. I know it seems subtle and doesn't seem like that big a deal, but I'm telling you, something's up here.
He wrote a letter to all of us that were on trial during the, like right before the trial. But I did not read it.
But I did not read it.
Do you know what it said?
No.
Do you know what it said? Yes, she does. She read it.
Probably like, stay strong.
Something like that.
Something like that. You just sort of like not having any part of it.
No.
Do you hate him?
Again, fading facts. She was really quiet on that no. She just said, I didn't read it. I got it. No, hell no, I didn't read it. Everybody else may have. I don't know. But I tell you, I didn't read it. She should have done something like that. Shouldn't have been that quiet. Shouldn't have been that quiet. It got quieter and quieter at the end. Her brain is saying, hey, man, you shouldn't be saying this. This is wrong. This is a lie. We shouldn't be doing that. That's why she gets quieter at the end. And then she almost doesn't say no. She just keeps shaking her head no.
Do you hate him? Do you forgive him?
No, I am not yet at a place where I have forgiven him because I haven't fully comprehended what he did. I'm still working on that.
When something traumatic happens to us, it takes a while to work through it. It really does. Sometimes it takes years to get through something like that, right? But in this case, she's showing a little bit of loyalty to this guy because she's saying it takes her a minute to say no, she doesn't hate him, right? She's made up her mind about what she thinks about this guy already. That's when that question is asked. It should come out fairly smoothly. Again, everybody heals differently in situations like this when you're dealing with trauma. But she starts to close down a little bit. She starts to get away from that answer. So I think there might be a little bit of loyalty to that guy still with her.
Is it still hard to think of those close, dear friends that are no longer in your life still to this day?
Yeah.
It still hurts you.
Yeah.
You still want to reach out.
Yeah.
But you don't.
No. Yeah, not yet.
We're seeing a little bit of contempt there. When one side of your mouth goes up like that, that's contempt. So whether she has contempt for the people that he's talking about or she has contempt for the situation, who knows? But that's contempt. So again, I'm not so sure she's being honest about this either. She's trying to make this look like an emotional situation where she's saying, yeah, and then no at the end.
It still hurts you.
Yeah.
You still want to reach out.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Now, I'm all the time talking about women's intuition on this channel. And I believe it's true. I believe women's intuition is probably the most powerful tool there is when it comes to the men and women, to the men's brain compared to the women's brain. I think women's brains are much more powerful at collecting information and then sorting through it. And not only do I think that, there are studies that actually show that. There's a book called The Female Brain. Get that. You'll love it. So I think she's trying to show she's emotional about these women and the people that she was involved with that she doesn't get to hang out with anymore, doesn't talk to anymore. But again, that looks a little bit deceptive to me. The emotions we should be seeing there aren't there. She thinks she's looking sad. She thinks she's looking like, oh, I feel bad about that. But she doesn't have that expression on her face, which she should have. We don't see anything in the grief muscle up here. We don't see her eyebrows coming together or her brow coming together right here. And then being forced upward, we see the whole things go up, but we don't see the part in the middle. That's what tells us there's true emotion there about sadness, and that's not there. So overall, I think we're seeing her protect herself during this. She's trying to make herself a victim during this and separate herself from this guy, Keith Raniere. She may have played a bigger role than she says she played in this thing, because that's what it looks like to me. That's just my opinion, just what I think. But her body language is telling us something's not right here. I think the part that isn't right is she's not giving us everything he's asking for. She's not answering these questions fully. She's showing us the expressions she thinks show the emotion she wants to convey. And it's not happening. It's not working. That's why it feels weird. All right, if you have any questions about body language, just email me, bodylanguagequestions@gmail.com, and I'll get right on it.